So, what is a Firebird stored function? A stored function is a scalar function written in PSQL. It can be called just like an internal function. Why should you use them? Stored procedures and stored functions are technically identical. However, there are a couple of reasons why you should consider using a stored function rather than a stored procedure. They are easier to call than procedures. For example, here's an example of a stored procedure. Here's an example of a stored function. They are more flexible than procedures. Stored functions also offer considerable more flexibility, for example, when being called in a where condition. Such nesting in stored procedures can quickly become very confusing. To demonstrate Firebird 3's stored functions, we have used SoundX. SoundX searches for similar sounding words. For those of you not familiar with SoundX, please refer first to the Wikipedia definition. To understand what the SoundX functionality is, we first created a SoundX procedure, IBE SoundX, as a simple implementation with 3 parameters for the word, language, and string length. When we start it and enter the word that we are searching for, here Klemt, language English, the result is K453. The results are always based on groups of similar sounding letters, and groups for the SoundX functionality come from a library. Here we've also used an implementation for the German language, the IBE SoundX Weight library. It always uses the first character directly. The letter L here, for example, is the number 4, E number 7, M is number 5, and T number 3. When I enter the German word Meyer, the result is M760. It can also be spelt M-A-Y-E-R. Again, M760. And M-E-I-E-R, M760. You always get the same result because the names sound the same, even when spelt slightly differently. The problem is with this kind of implementation, it is not really comfortable. So, you can use a function. Define a new function with the same structure, word, language, and string length. Define the returns as no name, varchar 1000, and then execute the same procedure. In SQL, we now have the possibility to query the following. Using a simple SQL, we can view all names in a database grouped by similarity. Here we can see the number of names found corresponding to which SoundX group. For example, Paul, Pillai, Pool, Paul, Pully, Pool, or Baron, Baron, etc. They are all similar sounding. We can of course refine this by specifying indices to improve the performance, but I think you can see that using the internal function makes it much easier to implement, and SoundX can be very useful, even if it can occasionally show up some surprising results. There are many potential implementations for stored functions, for internal bug management, data evaluation, and so on. You can even use this functionality to index your data. We find stored functions a really great new feature as they offer a lot of possibilities inside the database. We hope you do too.